Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today we're going to be reviewing Stephen King, Cell, a novel. I keep calling it The Cell, but it's just Cell. And so if I call it The Cell, just know that it's just Cell and not The Cell. But for some reason in my mind, I keep saying The Cell, The Cell. Every time I Googled things about this book, I'd Googled The Cell. It wouldn't come up. You type into Goodreads The Cell, this book won't come up because Goodreads' algorithm is dog shit and it won't catch anything unless you spell it exactly right. That's why every author on the planet hates Goodreads. Not just for that, but for a ton of reasons besides that. But anyway, that's enough ranting about Goodreads. Let's talk about Cell. Stephen King came out in 2006. You know, we always review the covers first because I love graphic design and cover illustration. So let's talk about the hardcover and the paperback. Now, the hardcover has an illustration that was done by Mark Stutzman. It's a wraparound. Well, no, it's not a wraparound. It's just a front cover illustration of some blood and a cell phone and a coffee cup. There's cement, something. When we wrap around, we get a picture of Stephen King. Looking badass. This cover sucks. That's all I'm going to say about it. I don't even know why they even bothered. So we'll put this one over here. But I do like the illustration that Mark Stutzman did here. It's actual paint. You can tell it's an actual oil painting. And look at the guy in the reflection. Look at that. Super cool. And then for some reason, the paperback came out and they... What the fuck is this? The Pulse. No, it's the Cell. Not the Cell. It's not the Pulse. It's not the Cell. It's just Cell. The Pulse is the activating event in the Cell that happened at 3:03 October 1st. According to Campbell Scott, the voice narrator of the Audible.com version that I listened to. Now, Campbell Scott has done a few of the Stephen King books. He does a really good job. He's an actor. He's a famous actor. He's done movies. Can't name them off the top of my head. But if you've been following my channel, you know that I've listened to each one of the Audible versions and followed along in the book as I read them to the Audible versions. Also, I've been reviewing each Stephen King novel in order of publication. We're to the Cell. God, we're to Cell right now. Cell, a novel. Starts at 3:03 October 1st. Clayton Riddle, he's a comic book artist. A graphic novelist, as it were. Struggling graphic novelist. And he just gets word that he's got a big contract. Someone finally is going to pay him a crap ton of money to create some graphic novels. And he is stoked. And he's walking down the street high as a kite, just thinking, oh my gosh, not high on drugs, but high, you know, on things are going my way type of high. And then at 3:03 October 1st, in the afternoon, his world goes to shit real quick. We get just a glimpse, just a tiny glimpse of who Clayton Riddle is before shit goes sideways. Ass over teapot real fast. There is no buildup. The pulse hits. The pulse hits. Now what happens is, as Clayton Riddle is walking down the street, he noticed pretty much everybody is on their cell phone. This book is published in 2006. Way before social media. Way before dating apps and Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and God knows what else people are looking at on their Pornhub. Long before that. And whatever people are addicted to on their phones now, 2006, We didn't have that, yet still everybody was on their phone all the time, which is astonishing. What the hell were we doing on the phones back then? Anyway, so Stephen King writes this story where there's going to be, and this is very much like The Stand. It's very post-apocalyptical. Everybody that's on their cell phone at 3:03, October 1st, wham, they turn into zombies. And it happens quick. It happens quick. You know, like Captain Trips in The Stand took a long time for this virus to, you know, wipe out everybody. And so we got to know the characters before the danger struck, we got to know the characters. In this one, not so much. If you're on your cell phone, when the pulse hits, boom, you're a zombie. I mean, it just starts out that quick. Within the first page, you know, Stephen King is known for these slow buildups where he introduces us to the characters, and we get to know everything in the characters' history and all the characters' relatives, and there's millions of characters, and it's a slow build, and that's what we love about Stephen King. He does the opposite. The absolute opposite. We are often running real quick in this with the blood, guts, and gore and Stephen King horror. It is a magnificent opening. Right out of the gate, we've got, right when the pulse hits, we've got a guy that picks up his dog and starts eating it like an apple. Just described as only Stephen King can describe it. And then we've got these teen girls in hip hugger jeans, because Stephen King lets us know exactly what kind of clothes they're wearing. Hip hugger jeans. They turn into vampires right immediately, and they start headbutting each other and headbutting lampposts and tearing the necks out of anybody that's standing next to them. And then the cars are crashing, because of course people are on a phone when the pulse hits in their cars and they're crashing. Just chaos in the streets. And Clayton Riddle, our artist that has such a bright future, now within 2 seconds realizes he's in a post-apocalyptical zombie horror fest show. That's what he's in. And he's got to dodge all of this. And this is where the book becomes like The Stand, where there's just a few characters left in the world that aren't zombies, and they're not living this nightmare, this post-apocalyptical zombie nightmare. Like in The Stand, how everybody journeys out to Boulder, Colorado and Las Vegas and stuff. Now, all of our characters, and there's some good ones like Tom and Clay and Alice, and they've all got their backstories, and we get to meet them all. It's just like The Stand, and we get to follow them on this journey, and they're headed towards Maine to something keeps calling out to them, and they're going up to Maine to their promised land away from the apocalyptical cell phone zombies. That's the basic plot. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's what it is. Now, I remember when this first came out, I bought it and read it the day it came out, and was just sort of lackluster, kind of like, Stephen King's just sort of cashing in on the popularity of everybody's cell phone. He's trying to make a little point here about it. And I was just kind of like, Had I rated this then, I probably would have rated it really low, like 3 or 4 out of 10. I really enjoyed my second reading of it. I hadn't read it since 2006. I absolutely enjoyed my second reading of it. So I am going to give Cell, a novel, 7.5 out of 10. The bar was raised with the second reading, and sometimes the second reading is all it takes. So anyway, everybody go out and, read this.